Hi, it's Will from StormTheCastle.com, and here on YouTube you know me as Epic Fantasy, and this is my latest tutorial. This is a Constellation Projector. I had so much fun with the Constellation Cups I decided to upgrade it to something a little fancier. It's a it's really a box with aluminum foil in it. You use a flashlight and you project constellations onto the wall. And this one's better because you can use index cards. You can get a little more complicated. You can do more with it. You can have people stand around it. It's kind of fun. You put the index card on the front, you put the flashlight in the back, and project constellations like this. See, that's an actual projection from this projector. And do you recognize that constellation? So I give you the template. I give you 16 constellations. You can use index cards if you got them. You don't have to, but it's an easy project to make. You can use foam board or cardboard. I'll show you more. I'll tell you more about it. Let's do the intro, and then let's do it. Dioramas, origami, catapults, and treasure shades, telescopes, terrariums, bonsai trees, and paper games, swords and shields, and real blacksmithing, rattle rockets, animation. I teach the art of real creation. StormTheCastle.com. Let's make something. Okay, so what you need to make this project is a sheet of foam board, or you can use cardboard for this project too. Don't need to use foam board, but you know I love foam board. You need the template, which has all the parts to make the projector, and it also has the 16 constellations for you. You need a pencil or a marker or a pen or something so you can write things up. Something to cut your foam board or cardboard with. Something to glue the pieces together. And a flashlight, and preferably a flashlight with a single bulb in it. See how that one has multiple bulbs in it? Try to avoid that one. It usually doesn't work that good for this project. And you also need aluminum foil, and if you have them, 3x5 cards. But you don't need them, you don't have to use them for this, it just makes it more convenient. So let's go ahead and build it. Print up the template and cut out the various parts. See, now one thing to notice is the top and the bottom look very similar, but they're not. The size is a little bit different on them. So write right on those parts, bottom and top, according to what it says in the template. Because you don't want to confuse them when you're building it or it won't build right. So go ahead and cut out all those various parts, including, see the square section in the middle there, that gets cut out too. You know, I had a lot of fun with this. You know, I love astronomy. Of all the things I love, a beautiful night sky is probably the thing I love the most. So, I return to these astronomy and telescope projects every once in a while, and then I enjoy them. So once you cut out all those pieces, lay them on your foam board or cardboard. And see that part there, the side piece, we're going to make 2 of those. I'll show you more. And then trace them. And an easy way to trace them, because there's so many straight edges, is just mark the corners like this. This will make for a crisper build. And there's really no curves in this project, so you can do this with just about everything. And then use a ruler to draw lines between those corners that you drew. So this makes it nice, and it's easier this way. So trace them all out like that, and this one was the bottom, so make sure you write on it bottom and to the top one too, so we don't confuse them later. And see this part here, the side piece, we make 2 of those because there's 2 sides to our projector, a left and a right. Okay, so there you go. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces. You're good to go. That's everything you need. So go ahead and cut all those pieces out. One, 2, 3 passes usually does it with foam board. 1, 2, I think I did it with 2 with this one. Let's see, 2, 3 passes. Nice crisp cuts. There you go. There's the pieces. Now with this piece right here, and this piece is optional, but let me show you something. This holds your little flashlight. Cut it like that, just cutting the top layer of paper and fold it like that. And that's like a little cradle for your flashlight to sit in. but that is optional. You can go without it. And it varies a lot depending on the size and the shape of your flashlight. So let's build it. Let's take the bottom piece and we're going to glue it to one of the sides just like that, right along the bottom there, not counting the feet. See that? Right like that. And if you use a hot glue gun, which makes it very easy, use it on a low setting if you have a high and low setting, because the high setting can melt the foam in between the sheets of paper on your foam board. So, but see, here's the beautiful thing about hot glue is, just 20 seconds, 15 seconds, and it holds. It has good tact. And so it holds, and then you can continue with your build. But you can use regular white glue. Anything that will glue paper will be fine. Then we glue the other side on. The same thing right along the bottom there, just above the feet of the projector. And an easy project, you'll have this done in no time, and it's some fun. And for this project, I got it on low setting. For this project, I also put together a list of activities you can do with this. Like you can project constellations, make your own constellations, copy some constellations from official ones. I give you 16 of them, and there's also some other things you can do to make activities out of this. So it's a great project for a group of kids, children, a group of kids, to have some activities they can do. Now, the front piece, run some glue along there and put the shelf on it. That's where your index card sits, on that shelf. See, right there the index card will sit. Oh, and you can use aluminum foil for this too instead of index cards. It actually works pretty good. And then glue that front piece onto the projector. And the fun thing about, one of the things I really like about this is you don't need any lenses or anything. Just pinholes do the job. The front's done. Now glue the back on. Look at that. We did that in no time at all. Now glue in some sheets of aluminum foil. This will help increase the illumination, of course. I did the bottom and both sides, and that's fine. If you wanted to get more illumination, you might be able to do the front and the back, but it's not really necessary. See? There you go. The bottom and the sides. And the top. Do that too, because that's a very big surface. And that's it. Your projector is pretty much done. Very nice. It'll be fun. You can tape that top on, or glue that top on even. I left it untaped or unglued just in case I needed to get in there. So now let's get the constellations. And these are official constellations. I took care to make them correct, reasonably correct. And I've added on to them little facts about the various major stars and stuff like that. So, which is a nice activity to recognize the constellations and some of the major stars. So now you can take those and cut those out. If you print them up on regular paper, you can just do that. If you have cardstock, a thicker paper that goes in your printer, print them out on that, and then you're all set. You can even, pierce the holes in these and use them as is. Or you can cut yourself sheets of 3x5 aluminum foil pieces and use those. It's a little more sensitive, but it works pretty well. But we're going to go ahead and use our 3x5 cards just so I can show you. I could use those cards I printed up in thicker paper. But now here's a fun thing. Last time, in the last Constellation Cup video I made, I didn't have any push pins, which are nice for this project. And so I used a needle, and I was like, I don't want to use a needle anymore. So I ended up making myself a push pin. So yeah, I used green stuff to, it's a two-part epoxy. I made a push pin. So go ahead and pin those, pierce holes in the constellations. There you go. You're ready to go. Right on it so you know what it is. This one is Canis Major, and it has the major star Sirius, which is the brightest star in the sky. Now place it on your Constellation Projector on the front. Put your flashlight into the back. And let's take a look. There we go. There's Leo. Excuse me, Canis Major. Okay, so if you make this project, be sure to send me a picture. I'd love to see it. And if you're interested in astronomy, you have a small telescope, or you get a small telescope, consider getting my book. See it with the small telescope. It's got all kinds of interesting stuff in the night sky that you can see, from colorful stars to nebula and galaxies and all kinds of fun things. I'm very proud of that book. It's a really good book for beginners.
Thanks for watching that video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're a subscriber, thanks for subscribing to my channel. If you're not a subscriber, hit that button. I always have lots of fun and interesting and very creative projects. I do 2 new ones every week. As an example, here's a couple more videos you might want to watch.